And fire in the night. Flames engulfed two homes on Quincy's north side. But what first ignited that blaze? Good evening. The investigation into a late night fire in Quincy that destroyed one home and left another severely damaged is now under the direction of the Quincy Fire Department.
The fire spread so quickly an elderly woman had to be rescued from the flames. This was the scene last night around 11 p.m. near 28th and Lind. The house where the fire began had been vacant for more than a year and all utilities were shut off from the house. Investigators say they think the fire began in the northeast corner of the home and they've ruled out all accidental causes. For more, we turn to a live report from WGEM's Brenda Martins.
That's right. Two homes used to stand on the lots behind me, but as you can see, the fire completely wiped out one of those homes and significantly damaged the home next door. Neighbors say they couldn't believe their eyes last night when they looked out and saw one of the homes completely engulfed in flames.
Well, I didn't realize it was so close until I opened the door and looked out.
As fast as they were getting one side of it put out, they had to run to the other side and get that put out.
Firefighters arrived on the scene shortly after 11 to find one house already filled with flames and another house just a few feet away beginning to smoke. The woman who lived there got out safely thanks to an off-duty EMS worker who lived nearby. But only 2 rooms in her home of more than 50 years escaped from damage.
Our fire department investigators have checked the scene out. We could only do a limited investigation at the initial structure because of the severe damage that we had.
Investigators say the fire started in the northeast corner of the house. They still don't know the reason behind the fire, but were able to rule out any accidental causes.
Long story short, there was no utilities to the building. Windows had been broken out of it. It had been vacant for well over a year. There was no natural, obvious cause to start the fires.
During the fire, part of the vacant home began to collapse. Citing safety concerns, fire crews brought down the rest of the house.
That's a purely residential neighborhood, and I had some concerns with school kids on the way to school or the bus stop being around there, so we did go ahead and take the house down to the ground.
Chief Henning says it's important to immediately report any suspicious activity you see, especially around vacant homes, like doors or windows suddenly being left open or lights seen coming from inside.
We certainly don't have any evidence of that, but the point being it was a vacant home. Somebody had to have been around it at some point, more than likely.
The woman whose home was damaged in last night's fire is staying with her son for the time being. The family was out here earlier today trying to salvage what they could from the home that she lived in for over 50 years. They say her church has also stepped up and offered clothing and other necessities that she lost during last night's fire. Reporting live in Quincy, Brenda Martins, WGEM News.
Brenda, thank you. One more bit of information we learned about the vacant home that caught fire. Officials say the house was on a list of buildings to be demolished by the city because it had been left vacant and in disrepair for several years.